Hello everybody, I am Midlothian View reporter Liam Younson, and stick with me because I have this week's top 10 news stories from Midlothian and all around Edinburgh. With Bonfire Night taking place on Wednesday, Police Scotland and the Fire Service praised Scottish communities for their support following a considerable reduction of serious disorder. It was reported that there was 484 less calls requiring response than last Bonfire Night. Between Halloween and the 4th of November, no significant incidents were reported, with only minor antisocial behaviour reported in Edinburgh and Midlothian. Taxi fare increases in Midlothian have been suspended after operators appealed to the government over new fees approved by the council. Midlothian councillors agreed to introduce increases of up to 20% after a review was held in September this year. However, a report considered by elected members this week revealed there had been an unintentional error in the new tariffs. Edinburgh-based game developers Rockstar Games have been accused of union busting after over 30 members of staff were fired last Friday, leading to a protest yesterday outside their Edinburgh offices. The Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain, known as IWGB, have stated that the sacking was due to trade union activities. Since the protest yesterday, Rockstar Games have claimed that workers were fired for sharing confidential information, not being part of the union. A solar farm planned for East Lothian countryside would be the size of a new town and take over 20 agricultural fields, a meeting of East Lothian Council was told on Tuesday. Councillors voted to object to the proposals for land surrounding the rural community of Old Hamstocks, as the question claims it was essential infrastructure. Borders buses have been accused of falsely advertising the ability to bring bikes on the bus after a Midlothian local was turned away from the X62 service on his way home from work for having his bike despite the service being advertised as bike friendly. A holiday park which has been operating on the East Lothian coast for over 100 years is to be open for residents throughout the festive season for the first time this year. Seaton Sands on Port Seaton traditionally closed during the week in December, with its residents and visitors allowed to stay weekends only after November 30th until December 23rd. However, a meeting of East Lothian Council's Planning Committee this week agreed to a request to extend the visiting times by an extra 15 days. Edinburgh's Christmas Festival has been denied permission to expand its footprint for this year's event over concerns about damage in Princes Street Gardens. Festival organisers Unique Assembly had hoped to add 8 new market stalls and 2 new attractions in the eastern part of the gardens, but councillors voted on Wednesday to side with a recommendation by council officers. The first director of Edinburgh UNESCO City of Literature, Ali Bowden, was officially presented with the coveted Edinburgh Award by the Lord Provost Robert Aldridge on Tuesday evening at a civic reception at the City Chambers. The Royal Zoology Society of Scotland is renewing its call for a national ban on the public sale of fireworks 1 year after the tragic death of baby red panda Roxy at Edinburgh Zoo. Since launching its public affairs campaign in 2024, the wildlife conservation charity has worked closely with Police Scotland, local schools and the City of Edinburgh Council to raise awareness of the dangers fireworks pose to animals and people. And finally, voted Scotland's best curry restaurant of 2025, the Rathdowney in Loanhead is celebrating again after retaining its prestigious AA Rosette Award for the 5th year in a row. It is one of only a handful of Indian-style restaurants in Scotland to have been awarded at least one rosette for culinary excellence. Commenting on the award, Managing Director Habib Burr said, "Winning an AA rosette is hard enough, but keeping it year after year is even tougher. We have to demonstrate that we continually uphold the highest standards of food service." For more information on the stories you just heard, alongside more news, visit midlothianview.com or download our MV app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store.